Are the Crayola color change markers magic? In this video, I'm going to answer that question for you. I'm also going to swatch them. We're going to see all the color combinations they can make. And guess what? It says on the box 24, but there's more than that. And we're going to look at the two different boxes that came out from Crayola this year that say color change markers. See if they're the same thing. And then we're going to do a little example of what you can do with these, all the fun that you can have. I'm Jenny from Jenny's Crayon Collection, and I help you find the coolest art supplies out there. And these are pretty cool. They are a relatively new technology. Let's talk about Crayola's past with color change markers. The first patents, yes, I said patents, that came out with these markers were in 1994 and 1996. There have been other patents since, and I'm kind of obsessed with looking at the patents because it really tells you how these work. Because if you ever want to know how something works and you're like, how does that work? Go to the patent. It's a lot of language, but you can usually go through it and understand what is happening. The patent says that there's two markers needed to make the color changing work. An undercolor, which contains a dye whose coloring ability is destroyed in the presence of an acid. And I think the acid that they put in here is a little bit of alcohol, so it's an alcohol type marker. And an acidic overcolor with a low pH. When the overcolor is used, the undercolor's dye is removed. There have been many iterations of development with these markers trying to improve it. And Crayola's had their feet in this market for a long time. The first ones that they had were called overwriters, plain and simple, because it's kind of what the patent said. It's before they got into the magic of the color change markers. And then they had the color switchers, which came a little bit later. And then recently with Take Note, they had even more markers that they put out. They had the erasable highlighters pastel party, and the color changing pens. Some of these use the technology that the other end was clear. And in alcohol markers, sometimes you have a blender marker, right? And it just depends on how acidic it is, I guess, how much it takes away. Because sometimes it doesn't take that much away, but sometimes it takes a lot away. It just depends. Now, all of those ones were clear, I think, except for the overwriters. I think sometimes I didn't have a box in hand, so I can't say exactly if it was clear or not. But the color change markers that we have are utilizing the same technology. There's technology in one half of the marker where when you write over it, it destroys the marker ink from the other side. What we see in here, and you'll see later in the video, is that not all of the ink is destroyed, so we can get lots of different color ranges. So that's basically how it works. Is it magic? Yeah, you can say it's magic, but there's also some science behind it. The two new boxes that came out this year, the color change markers, came out in two different designs. One came out in the standard packaging and one came out on a special line, a doodling line that Crayola is doing this year. Are they the same? Yes, all the colors are exactly the same. The only changes are the nib sizes. On the ones in the regular packaging, there is an extra large nib and then a broad line nib, which I feel like if you're doing color change markers, I'd like my nib size to be the same. I did kind of find it a little limiting when I was color changing and I had a different nib size. It would be this nice if it was the same. This other box, the color change markers in the doodling series, they have a smaller nib, which is more highlighter size, and they are both chisel tip, which I found was a lot easier to color change with. Which ones would I use? I think it really depends what I'm using it for. You can use a combination of both too, and I did some lettering at the end where I did both of them. So they are a little bit different, but you can use them together, which is nice. They come in boxes that are closable, which is nice also because I like mine closable. The ones in the doodling series come in some plastic packaging, which I don't think is really necessary. I think just a regular box would have done. The one big difference between the two of them is the regular box ones that have bigger barrels, they have the color names on them, which is amazing, and there's no color names on the smaller ones, which is harder because especially if you're making a chart and you're like, I want to use this color and this color, it's nice to be able to check a name. So I would recommend if you get this smaller box, because I do like them, a little better because they're smaller and they have the same size nib on both sides, then make sure that you label them. We're gonna swatch these first. I'm gonna speed up the swatches because I didn't want this video to take forever because there's a lot of interesting things I wanted to talk about today. But I am going to do both markers, and the first one I do is the really thick wedge. What do they call it? They call it the wedge tip, and then the broad line, and then the other ones they call chisel tips, which, yeah, I don't know. They're all different sizes, but that's what they call them. So I'm going through all the colors. I'm just doing them in color order so we can see what the color range is. And it's a really pretty color range. It would be fun to like put in some of the colors that are new into this color range to see what they look like. But here we are, we're on teal, and then we're going to go to aquamarine, sky blue. These are really close in color. And then we're going to go off to light blue as soon as I find it, because, you know, I'm like, oh, how many more do I have to go? And then we have light blue, then we have dark blue, and then we have violet. Next, we're going to combine colors, and this is where the magic happens. So the first one is pink, bittersweet, and cray yellow. And these colors probably do not match exactly the colors from Crayola on their pink or their cray yellow or their bittersweet. So if you're looking at the regular markers, I would highly anticipate that they don't, but that's another video. So if you want me to do that one, let me know. The next one we're going to do is magenta, royal purple, and teal. And as I've said before, there's some kind of reaction here. So when you're blending, look at that middle color, royal purple. That's what's blending with the magenta, actually. So it's not the teal at all, I believe. Actually, now I'm confused, but I feel like, which one is it? So on this red, violet, fern, and sky blue, it's taking one of them away and just leaving that color. How they do it exactly, I read the patent. You can read the patent again. I feel like they might have another patent that describes all of this. But as you can see, the chisel tips do a little better right here. I like them because with the other tips, I feel like I kind of had to color it in. But with the chisel tips, they kind of just went on each other. So that was red, violet, fern, and sky blue. And then we have the red, jade green, and light blue next. And so this one you can really see, like, it really wants to be like this kind of purpley brown color, but it's going to change to green, which when you add red and light blue, that does not equal green. So that's very interesting how these markers work. They just leave like that color behind. It's like, what is it? And so this one right here is orange, yellow, green, and aquamarine. So orange plus aquamarine does not usually equal green, but here it does. And we're going to put those in. This is really cool. If you know the colors that come in here, you can really get a sense for what you're going to get. Next, we have peach, infrared, and violet. And see here, I'm coloring in those lines. It's just doesn't look as nice, and it's not as easy to do. So I wish they were both the same type of marker. And then the next one we have is apricot. Oops, I forgot. So I'm going to go over it with the peach. And it doesn't seem to make a difference. But I did leave a little bit of streak on that one right here. You can see that. I think some of that pink streak came on to the violet. And then our next one is going to be lemon yellow. Oh, apricot, lemon yellow, and dark blue. So, and then we're going to do it in the chisel tip next. And you can see my lines aren't that great. I should have done this like in a dot journal or something. And this is apricot, lemon yellow, and dark blue. And these colors are pretty. Like, they're not my super favorite together, but combined with other colors, they would be really pretty. And then next is yellow, burnt orange, and green. And you'll see here, like, I'm having to color it in, and it looks okay. But the next one with the chisel tip just looks so much better because I only had to go over it once. And sometimes you'll get like that undercolor under it still. But then this one changes right away, and it's really consistent. And it looks a lot better in my opinion because I didn't have to color over it a few times. So if you're really looking to combine these colors, I would definitely recommend the smaller ones because they are the same tip. And here are all the colors. Which one is your favorite? Oh my gosh, I love the infrared. I love the fern. Those are so many cute colors. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these and see if you can get more colors than just the one on the other side. Because right now it's just one on one side and one on the other side. And you can. First off, we're going to start off with pink and Crayola and see if we get a difference in the color. If the overcolor or the undercolor, whichever one it is, changes depending on the color that it is. And we're seeing really quickly that yes, even though we're getting that orange tone, we're getting a different color on those. So even though the colors aren't making all the same color, and that's good to see because then we know that there's going to be more colors, and I want to see all of these and see if all of them. So let's make a chart for this. I've made this chart and it has all the colors on it. You can download it below. I'll have it available. If you're a member, you will already get it. If you are not, you can become a member or you can buy it individually. I've graded out half of this because in essence, you only need to do half the chart. If you want to do the whole chart, I will have that available too. Let's talk about when you regularly blend markers. You are going to get a different color, and it's fun to find some of those different color combinations. With paint, with anything, you're going to get a different color. Usually it follows the color chart. Where these markers differ is that they are erasing some of the ink. They're virtually taking it away, and we're only left with some of the ink that's in the marker. This chart won't follow the usual color theory, but we will see some of the cool color combinations that we can get with the colors that are similar to one another, like the chisel, the big chisel, or the broad line. I will note that it's easy to tell which one's like the activator and not the activator, or which ones can work well together because of the chisel and the broad line. Whereas in the smaller ones, I'd have to identify it and kind of go through and be like, okay, which one is it that erases all the ink? Which one is it that doesn't? So now we're going to go through. So first off is magenta. So how this works is you come here, magenta with magenta does not need to go. And I'm actually going to put all the ones, like a little star on all the ones that are the reaction ones. So that way we can know. So peach is one, sky blue, aquamarine. Well, I don't know if they're the reacting ones. They're the wedge tip. And then yellow is one. I believe pink is one. Magenta is one. We've got one more. Let's see. Light blue might be one. Yes, light blue is one. So these are all the reactions, the ones with the dots, and we'll see how they react. So on the ones that do not have a red dot, I don't expect them to react. So if a dot with a dot reacts, I don't expect anything to happen. But I expect something to happen maybe if a dot without a dot goes together. So magenta, we expect no reaction, just what you would get with that chart that we saw just a minute ago. It's very pretty. Slightly different than the color right there. So that's magenta. Next, we take our red violet. I need to make sure I do this right because I have not always been. I had to like redo the chart because I was doing it wrong. Look at all that crossed out stuff. I was like, when I'm doing it wrong like that, just time to start over. Just time to start over. So we expect a reaction with these two. So this one should just be a little darker with, or just darker. Let's see if it's darker. So first off, it is darker. Let's see if there's any type of reaction that happens. Then we're going to go to this one. Immediately, we see it turning green, which should not happen. Usually when you put a red violet with a pink, you don't get a green. That one is not expected. Okay, so on this one, we don't expect a reaction. A red with a red violet will just make, yeah, a little bit darker than both of those. Kind of, you know. Okay, so magenta with red. Let's see what we get. This one's actually pretty. So we get more of a red color there. And then this one turned blue. So you can see, I feel like there's, I don't know how, like what kind of reaction is happening. This one's turning orange, which should not happen. I should get pink plus red should be not more yellow. Okay. I hope that makes sense. All right. Next we have our orange. So our orange with our red, we don't expect a reaction. This is kind of what you expect. A little bit darker. This one's a little more orangey, red orange. That's what typically happens. Red violet, we expect about that. Okay, now let's see what this one turns. Okay, that one is looking more orange, but this one kind of looked, the color was supposed to look, and then it changed to more yellowy. This one's also changing to more yellowy. Oh, and this one's definitely, you didn't not expect more yellow to come in like that. They look pretty similar. This one looks green. All right, so next we've got this peach, and this is where I messed up before, so make sure I use the right marker for the job. Okay, so peach with orange, we're probably going to have a reaction. The reaction we would normally expect would just be around the same color, since they're really close in the color wheel, but that might not be what we get. That one is turning more yellowy, which is not an expectation because neither of these have yellow in them. Okay, let's see what it does with the red. So you can see it go down at first and then it changes more yellowy. So this might have like this yellow undertone, and you can see it kind of almost went onto there. Yeah. Okay, this one's going green. That one's interesting. Okay. Oh, okay, that one turned, but it could be changing just a second. Now, oh, we don't expect a reaction with that one. So that could just be the color theory. Yeah, this one's the color theory. Sorry if I'm confusing you guys. So these are just color theory. Color theory are the normal colors. This should be more in line. Like this should be a rainbow down, rainbow over. So all these spots, they're not in the rainbow, especially up here. They should be getting progressively more purpley. They're getting more yellowy. So this, yeah, it's very interesting to see. Apricot is next. So we don't expect a reaction. We just expect it to be like a combination of the two, which it is. It's kind of a tan color right there. Okay, this one we're going to have a reaction. I don't know what color. Oh, it's looking more green, which you would not expect because this color is not green. Okay, and this one, it's also lining up a lot, kind of turning green. Okay, let's see this other one. Oh, Definitely green. That's a pretty green. Look at that. I like that green. Better than that green. Okay, this one we don't expect reaction. This one would just be a light, yeah, color added. Again, ooh, we get a pretty like coral pink kind of color right here. That's the normal reaction. This green, this yellow, this whatever, these three are not normal. Okay, Crayola is next. And we do expect a reaction with here. So let's see what this one will be. Making sure it's the right one. Crayola. Yeah. For two colors to blend together and be that dark, usually it's not that much noticeable. So it's like a red undertone, which is the middle part of this one. Another orangey color. Okay, no reaction expected with this. This is like normal color theory here, which you expect because look, it's kind of a cross between these two. This one, again, a little bit of a cross, right? Okay, and then this one, another cross between the two. You can see it should be kind of following in this pattern. And then Crayola and magenta. So this one we're going to get a reaction. Expect that one not to be that red. And then this one, nope. So this one, you can see it's predominantly red in that column. Very interesting. Okay, next up is yellow. So let me preface this. Before I put these two together, they should just be a yellow color. Virtually no difference. Let's see what we get. Yeah, if you put two yellows together, you should not get that. So let's look at when we put these together, because this is more representation of what you're going to get. Yeah, that's what you would expect from these two. Not a red. Okay, these are not going to react also. Another one where it's kind of a mix between the two. Look, a yellow orange. Yes, yellow peach. Yeah. Okay, this one, we just expect it to be more yellowy, like a yellow orange. Let's see if that happens. Yes, but I feel like it's really yellow. For that being a darker color, you wouldn't tend to go more towards the orange. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, again, you can see it changing on the page right there. It should be more red. This one. Oh, look, another green. That's very interesting. Should not be green. Okay, this one is kind of what you would probably expect. Yeah, a nice corally color, not a green. It should, yeah, I think you guys have the point on that. This is another one that's pretty because the two colors are close to each other in saturation that you do get a pretty yellow right there. Yellow pinkish, but it's orangey more than the yellow. Okay, let's try our green now. It's on the other side. Okay, so these are the ones that actually mix together. If you mix these two together, you should get a yellow-green, which you get at first. But wait, because we saw this before, all of a sudden it's changing. And now it's red. Can you see that coming down? And the green is like, no, I don't want to be green anymore. Okay, this one's also going to not react. This is more what should happen. Where you see a combination between the two. That's what should be happening here. This one is going to react also. So let's see. Should not be that light. It should be more this green color, but it's not. This one should be more a green color. We'll see. It takes a minute to change. Yep, it's changing again right before our very eyes. this is what we should expect when we put these other two together. So we should have gotten like a little gradient here. This one's not going to react also, so another gradient. Getting very dark in color. Another gradient, yes. You can see there's probably stuff from the other one on there. Cover it up. Okay, now we're going to react. We expect this to be this, but a little bit lighter. And it is turning to like a red color, which is not expected when you mix those colors. And now we're getting another red. So you can see these are the colors it should be, but then these are the other ones. This chart is not as rainbowy as it used to be. I should have taken a picture before I did it all. Okay, next is teal. Okay, I'm going to mix it with the green. So this is the expected combination. You get like a darker one of both of those. Okay, now this is going to be the reaction. All of a sudden, getting very light green, which it should be darker because this is a dark color. Okay, this one's going to react also. See how it reacts. Actually, it's not reacting. This is how it should be. Now this one is the reactor. So this one should not change as much as it's changing because we have a very light color under this and it should barely be showing through. So for it to change that much to a blue, no, especially when you add this color, it should be more, it should not be bluer than this. To get a more bluer than this, you have to add red, and we didn't add red. Okay, that's kind of what you expect. It's a little more orange. This one is, actually no, that is not what you expect. That one again is, it's a little bit closer than that one is. That one is just so blue. Okay, maybe they cancel each other out because it almost looks similar to that, which it shouldn't. It should be more orangey. Okay, this one is probably what it should be more like. How that's darker with kind of an orange undertone. That one's lighter. Should not be lighter than that one. Okay. This one, another one we would expect. So we're kind of going up. They're progressively getting bluer, which should happen when you add purple. Now these ones are going to, oh, we're not supposed to get blue like that. Okay, let's see what we have when we do this one. These are very pronounced. They're not supposed to be that pronounced. We should be getting closer to this color with just a hint of pink. It should not be turning that blue. Okay, and the next one we'll look at is aquamarine. Okay, this one is a changer. I don't know what it's supposed to do. Okay, this one is also a changer with aquamarine, right? Okay. Yeah, that one shouldn't be that blue. Like, it shouldn't affect it that much because it's a light color. Oh. That one should not be changing orange. That's weird. Okay. Those should be very close, but they're not. Let's see what this one looks like. See? That one's color theory. Blue plus yellow make green. Blue plus green do not make that color. Okay, this one's going to change. Oh. It's doing what it did below. Okay, now so how some of these, this is what, yeah. Very close, but just a little bit different. That's color theory. Yep. Okay, this one's going to change. Oh. Should not be changing it that green, because that is not dark or anything. Let's see what it changes this one. Oh. Boy. That one changes it really green. Okay, and then these are normal. Oh, that's a pretty color. Oh, we get a pretty blue. So that's color theory. Blue is like a purpley color. Okay. Next we go to sky blue. This chart is so crazy. Look at it. It's like normal here. It should look similar, but it doesn't. Okay. Next one is sky blue. Okay, and this one is not going to change it. Well, it will change it, but not that much. So it's just a combination of the two. This one is going to change it. We'll see. Oh, whoa. I mean, it's in the same color family, but it shouldn't change it that much. Okay, and then this one also again. Oh, now we're all of a sudden changing to brown. I think we're seeing a pattern here with some of these. Okay, and then this one should just be green because that's color theory. That makes sense. And then this one, oh, should not be brown, but it is. Okay, this one should be similar to this one, but just a little bluer. Ah, that's pretty. Okay, now this one, yeah, it's starting to get into the murky. And yep, now it's supposed to be green when you add blue with orange. Okay, and now this one. Oh, yeah, another one. So do you think we're going to get green? I think we're going to get a bright green up here. Oh my, I'm starting to see what this one is. Looks like it's just green. Okay, now this is what we're supposed to be getting. So we should have seen like this darker purple here. And we see a purple here. That's normal. Okay. Now we go into light blue. Okay, so these are all color theory ones. Yeah, just a little bit darker. Nice combination of the two. Again, nice combination of the two. You can see this is the dominant color because it's a lot darker than these two, which is what usually happens. Let's see what we do here. So that one changed it a lot. So it tended more towards this color, which it should be more of a combination. And brown. Oh. Not exactly sure. Is that a yellow? Okay, now this one. Oh, pretty green. That's the normal. Like if you put that one with that one. That one's not. Okay, let's see. This one's another not. I think it's going to be brown. What do you think? Oh, it changed to a purple. Okay. This one, predominantly the other color, maybe a little bit underneath. Yeah. Okay. These wedges are a little hard to, maybe I should do the combinations with the other one. The smaller wedges so I don't get so much. Okay. So that's the normal color theory color. Let's see this one. Yeah, that's not a normal one. This one's also, these are all not normal. I wonder if the one above is going to be green. I guess we'll see, right? Yep. Another green, but it's different. It's a different green. This shouldn't be green. See, that's what you should be getting. That's a pretty color. And then here's another one. That's pretty too. So it's definitely different. It's like a blue and then a light blue. You can see the difference, but it's adding colors, which should happen. Okay, dark blue. So this is a color changer right here. Okay. Yeah, you can see it going down and then it's turning green. It's going to take a minute, but you can see it on the edges. Okay, and then let's do this one above. Well, that one's really turning green. So they should not be doing this. That one's maybe had some from the above. So this one looks like it's going lighter, which it shouldn't do. It should be going darker. Okay, that one's going lighter again. You saw how dark it was and then it just changed. And so this is what it should happen with these. It goes darker. And then again, just goes darker. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm thinking a yellow. So it's like adding yellow with yellow. So like a yellow green maybe. So it wants to be blue. It really wants to be blue. And then all of a sudden it changes to the yellow green. Okay, this is what it should look like. Barely hardly anything, almost like a black. Okay, this one's going to react also, looks like. Yep. Oh, yeah, that one's going to a yellow green. You can see it just wants to be blue. But then it changes. Another reaction here. So I think it's almost like you're mixing this color with the dark blue. I mean, yeah, instead of the dark blue, this color, you're mixing when it's opposite. Okay, now we know that these are just normal colors that we're mixing together. Okay, now this is more reaction. So it's almost like we're, I think, adding this color to this color. So somewhere in like the orangey range, maybe? Let's see what turns out. Same with this one. Let's see. Whoa. Yeah, those are not what you expect. So this is more orangey. This is more the pinky. Okay. This is becoming very interesting. So our last nice column is not going to be nice anymore. We need to get our violet. So these two are going to be similar. I mean, the color theory colors. A very dark purple. That's a pretty color. Okay. Now these ones are going to be different. So it's like we're adding that pink into there. So almost getting the purple back again, which we shouldn't be. We should be getting more blue. Another one that's going to change. Oh, that one's pretty. I like these. Okay. And this one. Oh, that one's pretty too. Okay. Okay, this is just what it's supposed to be. So the farther apart they get, the more brown they should be. This one should be more brown, but ooh, it's a pretty pink. Not expected. This is kind of what it should be. Since they're getting close, opposite. That should be what it is, not that. This one's going to react. Oh, that one's pretty. I like that one. That one's also pretty, not expected. This is expected. So we're getting closer together on the color wheel, so they should be coming together more. And purple plus red violet makes a little bit more. Okay. Now these ones should be like more purpley. They change a lot to like that pink, which they get lighter, which they shouldn't. But it's a pretty color. Very, very pretty in that row. some that we have not seen before. All right, so I need some indicator of the colors that it should be mixed. So we already have a little dot that signifies that it was, so maybe like an open circle instead of the dot. Okay, so red mixed with light blue is the combination. So red mixed with light blue is this color combination. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and then we had blue mixed, dark blue mixed with apricot was the color combination. Okay, and then we had sky blue with red violet. Okay, so it's up here, red violet. So yeah, this green. It's like, it does not want to write anymore. Okay. Oh yeah, that one was it. Okay, and then we have magenta with teal. So teal and magenta. And then we had pink with Crayola. Okay. And then we had yellow with green. And then this is the last one. We had peach with violet. There we go. So coming in here, these are the ones that are on there, but if there's other combinations, like, okay, so some of these are going to be color theory ones and some of them are not. So I would come into here and be like, I like this color, I like that color, I like that color, like that one. And some of these will look a little bit nicer when you're blending them because of the way the pencil marks, the marker marks were. I like these two together. This one, it's different. This one's more orangey. And you just come down the line. These greens, like you get this really pretty when you do the light blue with the red violet. It's a little darker. Like that one's not my favorite with that one. So, and then some of these other ones look nice, like this one. Yellow plus the orange makes a pretty color. So there's a lot of colors that can be made with these, more than the 24. You can make all of these. I have to figure out how many colors those are. Do all of them look nice? Not necessarily, but there are some pretty colors out there that look nice too, especially like in this one, except for that one. Like that one, baby. So this is the color combinations that we can get. This is a technique that you usually do with tape. I'm going to be doing it with these markers to see if we can get the same effect. So you basically write your word and you kind of skip the middle, and then I'm going to do cursive in the middle. And then I'm going to do this again, just with some different colors. These are my own color combinations I came up with. I'm going to write summer on this one, and then I'm going to write with cursive in the middle. I made it like go a little bit further apart this time. Let me know what your favorite colors are from all of these two, because I think this is really cool to do. I will let you know that these might fade over time just because they are not acid free, but they look really cool for what they are right now. So this one, I'm just doing it as a background, and then I'm going to write summer on that one, and then I'm going to look to the chart to see what good colors would be for a sun, and I identified that one, and we're going to use that one right here. And I'm also putting black on the summer just to give it a little bit of depth on the paper. And then the next one that I'm going to do is the love again, and I'm just going to write it on there like I did before. And then I'm going to write some hearts. I'm going to pick a blue, like a blue to put on there to make it like a pink. It doesn't come in as strong as I wanted to, so I'm going to cover it with the other one, and then you can see the little blue peeking through, which is very interesting. I think that's cool. Now I'm putting a little black on it. I hope you guys liked this video and everything that we did. Let me know what your favorite color was, what you liked. Are you going to be picking these up? Because I think these are really neat, and I really like what you can do. Look at that. It's just so pretty, and I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can leave a little tip, super thanks if you want, and we'll see you in the next video.